The wind moves through a place that time has buried. We unbury it now, slowly, carefully, one era at a time. Tonight we spend the evening in the strangest creatures in Earth's history. Let the ages dissolve around you. Sink gently into your pillow. The modern world can wait until morning. Let your eyelids grow pleasantly heavy. This is Forgotten Habitats. Let us begin. Close your eyes and let the weight of the modern world fall away, like autumn leaves drifting into a deep, dark pool. We are traveling back, far beyond the reach of memory, into the silent, heavy depths of deep time. Here the air is thick, the light is different, and the very ground beneath us hums with a rhythm we have long forgotten. Imagine the world 540 million years ago, when the oceans were the only stage for life's grand theatre. We begin our journey in the cool, dim waters of the Cambrian period, near the ancient shelf of the Burgess Shale. The water is a deep indigo blue, filled with the soft, rhythmic pulsing of creatures that defy every rule of modern biology. Moving through the silt, we find the Opabinia, a creature so strange that early scientists laughed when they first saw its reconstruction. It has 5 eyes, bulbous and glossy, peering out from its head like smooth river stones, catching the faint filtered light from above. From its face, a long, flexible nozzle extends, tipped with a claw that probes the soft mud for hidden morsels of ancient life. Nearby, the Hallucigenia walks upon the sea floor, a delicate, spindly dream made of soft flesh and sharp spines. It moves on 7 pairs of stilts, while along its back, a row of tentacles waves in the current like grass in a slow wind. For many years we did not know which side was the head or which was the bottom, so alien is its form to our understanding of symmetry. Above us, the shadow of the Anomalocaris glides through the water, like a silent prehistoric bird of the deep. Its great circular mouth, lined with jagged plates, and its 2 grasping appendages make it the king of this sunless realm. Yet even this giant moves with a grace that is soothing to behold, its side flaps rippling like silk ribbons in the dark water. As the eons turn, like the pages of a heavy stone book, we leave the water and step onto the damp, mossy earth of the Carboniferous. The air here is rich, heavy with oxygen, and the scent of damp earth and decaying ferns is thick and sweet. The forests are vast, dominated by giant club mosses and horsetails that tower like green pillars into the misty emerald sky. Through the undergrowth, a rhythmic clicking reaches our ears, the sound of many legs moving over dry leaves. Emerging from the shadows is the Arthropleura, a millipede the size of a small car, its body armored in thick, dark plates. It is 2.5 meters long, a gentle giant of the leaf litter, its many legs moving in waves, like the keys of a piano played by an invisible hand. Above the stagnant pools, the Meganeura, a dragonfly with a wingspan of over 2 feet, hovers in the thick, humid air. Its wings are like stained glass, catching the golden light of a setting prehistoric sun as it darts between the giant ferns. The world is quiet here, save for the hum of wings and the distant heavy thud of a falling tree in the deep, primeval woods. We move forward again to the Permian period, where the seas have grown warmer and the land more rugged and dry. In the dark, coastal waters, a shadow moves with a shape that seems impossible for a creature of the deep. This is the Helicoprion, a shark-like predator whose lower jaw ends in a spiral of razor-sharp teeth like a circular saw made of bone. This tooth hall, hidden within the jaw, or perhaps protruding, remains one of the great mysteries of the fossil record. As the creature swims, its silhouette is sleek, but that strange, coiled weapon reminds us that nature often experiments with forms we can barely imagine. The water around it is still and silent, reflecting the pale silver light of a moon that is younger and closer than the one we know. As the Permian ends and the Triassic begins, the world transforms into a land of extremes and even stranger inhabitants. In the dense tropical forests of what will one day be Central Asia, a small reptile rests upon a mossy branch. This is the longisquama, a creature with a row of tall hockey stick-shaped scales rising from its back like a line of strange prehistoric sails. These plumes may have been for display or perhaps to help it glide through the humid, stagnant air of the forest floor. They catch the light in shades of forest green and ochre, swaying gently as the creature breathes, a tiny living relic of an experimental age. The forest around it is alive with the sounds of early dinosaurs and the rustle of ancient cycad leaves. Nearby, another glider, the Cherovipteryx, prepares to leap from the trunk of a giant ginkgo tree. Unlike any bird or bat, its flight membranes are attached to its long, powerful back legs, giving it the appearance of a living delta-wing aircraft. It launches into the twilight, a silent triangular shadow, drifting effortlessly across the clearing toward the safety of the dark woods. We follow the sound of water to the edge of a vast, shallow lagoon where the moon reflects off the ripples in long silver streaks. Here the Tanistropheus stands in the shallows, its body the size of a small crocodile, but its neck stretching out for 3 meters. The neck is stiff yet elegant, composed of only a few elongated vertebrae, reaching far out into the dark water to snatch at passing fish. It remains perfectly still, a statue of bone and scale, silhouetted against the shimmering midnight sea. The long neck allows it to hunt without splashing or alerting its prey, a master of the quiet, patient kill. We watch as it slowly retracts its head, the water dripping from its snout like liquid silver in the cool evening air. Deep in the Triassic night, we encounter the Attopodentatus, a marine reptile with a head that defies all description. Its jaw is shaped like a hammer or a wide, flat T, lined with thousands of needle-like teeth used to scrape algae from the underwater rocks. It moves through the shallows like a living vacuum, its strange head swaying from side to side in a rhythmic, hypnotic motion. The world of the Triassic is a laboratory of life, where every form is tested against the harsh, unforgiving environment. We see creatures with armored backs and creatures with hollow bones, all struggling and thriving in their own unique ways. The air is cooling now, as the sun dips far below the horizon and the first stars begin to pierce the velvet canopy of the night sky. We settle into the soft, warm sand of an ancient beach, listening to the rhythmic pulse of the tides. The sounds of the strange creatures we have met fade into the background, becoming part of the wind and the waves. The Arthropleura has returned to its burrow, the Helicoprion has vanished into the deep, and the longisquama is tucked away beneath a broad leaf. This is the peace of deep time, a silence that spans millions of years and yet feels as close as a heartbeat. We are but observers, drifting through the corridors of a museum that has no walls and no end. The earth breathes a slow, deep respiration that carries us further into the realm of sleep and shadow. As we rest here, on the threshold of another age, we prepare to move into the heart of the Mesozoic. The strangest chapters of Earth's history are still unfolding, and the shadows of the giants are beginning to lengthen across the land. We leave the shores of the Triassic behind, as the clock of the world turns its heavy stone gears forward into the deep, lush forests of the Jurassic. The air here is thick with the scent of pine and the damp, earthy musk of decaying giant ferns. In the moonlight of what will one day be eastern China, a small shape shifts among the branches of a towering ginkgo tree. This is Yichi, a creature that seems to belong to a dream rather than the fossil record. It is a dinosaur, no larger than a pigeon, but its wings are not made of feathers. Instead, it possesses long rod-like bones extending from its wrists, supporting a fleshy, leathery membrane, much like a bat. We watch as it adjusts its grip on the rough bark, its tiny claws scratching softly in the silence. It launches into the cool night air, a strange, flickering silhouette against the pale moon, gliding through the canopy with a grace that feels alien and ancient. As we travel further south, across the supercontinent, the landscape shifts to the river valleys of the early Cretaceous. Here, in the shadows of the La Amarga Formation, we encounter a giant that carries a forest of bone on its back. The Amargasaurus, a long-necked sauropod, moves with a slow, rhythmic thrum that vibrates through the soles of our feet. Along its neck, two parallel rows of long, slender spines rise like a frozen wooden fence draped in soft, colorful skin. These spines may have served as a warning or a display, but in the dim light of the stars, they look like the sails of a ghost ship moving through the mist. The creature pauses by a slow-moving stream, its massive weight sinking slightly into the soft gray mud. It lowers its head to drink, the movement of its neck causing the spines to click together with a sound like dry bamboo rattling in the wind. In the vast sun-baked plains of what is now North Africa, we find a world where the grass has not yet conquered the earth. Instead, the ground is covered in low-lying ferns and horsetails, soft and green under the midnight sky. A herd of Nigersaurus moves across the flats, their heads held low to the ground like living lawnmowers. Their mouths are wide and square, filled with hundreds of tiny replaceable teeth that work in unison to shear through the prehistoric greenery. They do not reach for the treetops like their cousins, but sweep their heads from side to side in a slow, hypnotic arc. The sound of their feeding is a gentle, persistent crunching, a peaceful rhythm that defines the pace of this ancient herbivorous life. Their bones are light and filled with air, a delicate architecture that allows such massive animals to move with surprising lightness across the floodplains. We drift now to the southern tip of the world, to the rugged volcanic hills of prehistoric Chile. Here the Chilosaurus, a bizarre mosaic of evolution, wanders through the fern prairies. It has the legs of a long-necked giant, the hips of a bird-hipped herbivore, and the arms of a fierce meat-eater. It is a puzzle of a creature, a gentle vegetarian that wears the uniform of a predator, showing us that nature often takes the most unexpected paths. It pauses to sniff the cool mountain air, its breath forming small clouds of vapor in the moonlight. The distant rumble of a volcano provides a low bass note to the evening, a reminder of the restless earth beneath its feet. We watch it disappear into the shadows of a conifer grove, its movements deliberate and calm as it finds a place to rest for the night. In the riverbeds of the Bajada Colorada, another spined wonder emerges from the gloom. The Bajadasaurus, a relative of the Amargasaurus, carries its spines differently, with long, sharp bones curving forward over its head. They look like the horns of some mythic subterranean beast designed to protect its vulnerable neck. While it feeds on the low-lying vegetation, it stands like a sentinel in the darkness, its silhouette sharp and jagged against the starlit horizon. We move toward the edge of a still forest lake where the water is as smooth as black glass. Beneath the surface, a small mammal, the Castor cauda, swims with the ease of a modern otter. It has a broad, flat tail covered in scales and thick waterproof fur, a pioneer of the water in an age dominated by giants. It paddles silently toward a submerged log, its webbed feet pushing through the cool, dark depths with effortless precision. High above in the limestone cliffs of the Solnhofen, a tiny pterosaur, the Anomalocaris, wakes for its nightly hunt. It has a wide, frog-like mouth and large, sensitive eyes, perfect for tracking insects in the dark. It flits through the air like a giant moth, its wings making no more sound than a whisper as it snaps up beetles and dragonflies on the wing. It is a master of the twilight, a small furry shadow in a world of scales and stone. Far out over the western interior seaway, the Nyctosaurus glides on wings that span nearly 3 meters. But it is its head that captures our wonder, crowned with a massive L-shaped crest that is 3 times the length of its skull. This crest may have acted as a rudder or a sail, catching the ocean breezes as the pterosaur scans the waves for the silver flash of fish. It is a creature of pure geometry, a soaring monument to the strangeness of the late Cretaceous sky. On the humid, marshy plains of Mongolia, the Anomalocaris stands knee-deep in the tea-colored water. For decades it was known only by its arms, 2 massive limbs ending in 3 formidable claws, each nearly a meter long. Now we see the whole animal, a humpback giant with a duck-like bill and a belly full of water plants and small fish. It is a gentle titan moving with a heavy, swaying gait through the reeds. Its long arms reach down to pull up clumps of vegetation, the water dripping from its claws like heavy, dark jewels. Nearby, its relative, the Therizinosaurus, uses even longer scythe-like claws to reach into the high branches of the trees. These claws can reach up to 1 meter in length, thin and curved, like the blades of an ancient harvest god. It does not use them for killing, but for gathering a peaceful giant in a terrifying mask. In the strange, isolated world of Madagascar, the Masiacosaurus prowls the riverbanks, its lower teeth jutting forward like a set of spears. It is a specialist fisher, its unique jaw designed to snag slippery prey from the rushing water. Beside it, the Simosuchus, a pug-nosed, land-dwelling crocodile, grazes on the low shrubs. It is short and squat, with a blunt snout and a body covered in heavy armor plating, a crocodile that has forgotten the water and chosen the life of a tank. On the island of Hatzeg, where the giants have shrunk to the size of horses, the Magyarosaurus wanders through the stunted forests. It is a dwarf sauropod, a testament to how the earth shapes its children to fit the space they are given. Above them, the Hatzegopteryx, a pterosaur, the size of a light aircraft, stalks the ground on folded wings. It is the apex predator, here a flying giraffe that hunts on foot, its massive beak capable of swallowing prey whole. In the slow, muddy rivers of the Amazon basin, the Stupendemis, a turtle the size of a small car, rests on a sandbar. Its shell is thick and scarred, a fortress of bone that has protected it for decades. It breathes slowly, the air whistling through its nostrils as the moon climbs higher into the velvet sky. The world is full of these strange and beautiful experiments, each one a leaf on the vast branching tree of life. We sit in the quiet of the late Cretaceous night, surrounded by the echoes of creatures that defy our imagination. The air is still, and the only sound is the distant rhythmic pulse of the earth, breathing. We are travelers in a land of wonders, where the strange is ordinary, and the ancient is alive. The stars of the late Cretaceous hang heavy in the sky as we prepare to witness the final and most magnificent wonders of this ancient and strange world. the air grows thick and heavy with the scent of ancient resin and damp earth. We leave the world of the dinosaurs behind, traveling deeper into the well of time. We find ourselves in the middle of the Permian period, 267 million years before our own time. Here, in what will one day be the Ural Mountains of Russia, the landscape is a tapestry of sprawling floodplains and dense conifer forests. The moon hangs large and pale over a slow-moving river, casting long silver shadows across the mud. The Anomalocaris stands at the water's edge, a creature that defies simple description. It is the size of a large bull, with a thick, sprawling body and a head adorned with fantastic bony structures. These horns and knobs rise from its snout and forehead, like the antlers of a dream creature, or the crown of a forgotten king. It breathes with a low, wet rumble, its skin likely smooth and glandular like that of a hairless mammal. In the moonlight, the Anomalocaris looks like a living statue, a monument to a time when life was experimenting with the very fabric of form. It lowers its massive head to drink, the water rippling around its muzzle in slow, rhythmic circles. We watch from the shadows of the giant horsetails as this ancient synapsid moves with a heavy, deliberate grace. Further south, in the humid river systems of what will become Texas, the water holds its own secrets. The Diplocalus rests on the silty bottom, its body nearly a meter in length. Its head is the strangest part of all, a wide, flat, boomerang-shaped skull that flares out to the sides. This strange geometry acts as a hydrofoil, allowing the creature to lift and dive with minimal effort in the flowing current. It lies perfectly still, its small, upward-facing eyes watching the surface for the silhouettes of insects or small fish. The gills on the sides of its neck flutter gently like delicate crimson lace in the dark water. It is a master of the shallows, a creature shaped by the physics of the river into a form that seems almost alien to our eyes. When it moves, it is with a sudden flickering burst of speed, disappearing into the shadows of the sunken logs. In the vast Permian oceans, the silence is even deeper, broken only by the muffled pulse of the waves. Here, the Helicoprion cruises through the indigo, depths a shark-like predator with a nightmare in its jaw. Instead of rows of replaceable teeth, it possesses a circular saw of serrated bone tucked into its lower jaw. This tooth hall spirals inward like a fossilized ammonite, a spiral of sharp tearing edges. It moves like a ghost through the water, its dark, sleek body barely visible against the deep. The spiral of teeth is designed to slice through the soft bodies of cephalopods, a precision instrument of the ancient seas. We see its silhouette pass before the moonlit surface, a reminder that the oceans have always been home to the most fantastic of shapes. It vanishes into the cold, dark abyss, leaving only a trail of bubbles in its wake. Back on land, the arid plains of North America are home to the Cotylarhynchus, a giant among the early plant-eaters. It is a creature of startling proportions, with a massive barrel-shaped body and a head that is comically small. Its neck is short and its limbs are thick and powerful, ending in large clawed feet for digging through the dry earth. It looks like a mountain of flesh moving slowly across the dusty landscape in the fading light. It grazes on the tough, scrubby vegetation, its tiny head bobbing with every slow step. There is a profound sense of peace in its movements, the unhurried pace of an animal that has no natural enemies in this quiet corner of the world. The dust kicked up by its feet hangs in the air like a golden mist, catching the last rays of the setting sun. It is a gentle giant, a testament to the diversity of the synapsid lineage in the high rocky plateaus of Kyrgyzstan. During the early Triassic, the world is beginning to change. Here, the Longisquama clings to the trunk of a tall fern tree, its small lizard-like body nearly hidden by the bark. Along its back it carries a row of long hockey stick-shaped scales that rise like a fan into the air. These structures may be for display or perhaps for gliding through the thin mountain atmosphere. It remains perfectly motionless, its scales catching the moonlight like the ribs of an ancient paper fan. Nearby, the Charovipteryx prepares to launch itself from a high branch. Unlike any other flyer, its wings are not on its arms, but on its long, powerful back legs. It leaps into the night, its leg membranes stretching wide as it glides effortlessly across the clearing. It is a creature of improbable flight, a living kite navigating the Triassic winds with delicate precision. We watch it land on a distant trunk, its movements quick and nervous as it searches for insects in the crevices of the wood. The forest is alive with the rustle of these small, strange pioneers exploring the vertical world of the canopy. The stars above are the same stars, but the world below is a gallery of forgotten experiments. Returning to the late Permian of Russia, we encounter the Inostrancevia, the largest of the Gorgonopsids. It is a predator of terrifying efficiency, with long saber-like canines that can reach 15 centimeters in length. Its body is built for power, with a deep chest and strong limbs that allow it to hunt the armored giants of the plains. It stalks through the low ferns, its movements silent and predatory. Its skin is dark and leathery, blending into the shadows of the evening. It pauses to sniff the air, its nostrils twitching as it catches the scent of a nearby herd. This is the apex of the Permian food chain, a creature that combines the traits of reptiles and mammals into a singular, formidable form. It moves with a heavy, rhythmic prowl, a shadow among the shadows of the ancient wood. Its preferred prey, the Scutosaurus, huddles together for protection, their bodies covered in thick bony plates. These are the tanks of the Permian, slow-moving and heavily armored, with knobby skulls and short, thick tails. They grunt to one another, in the dark the sound like the grinding of stones, as they shift their massive weight. Their armor is their only defense against the saber teeth of the hunters that roam the night. As we watch, a distant volcano flickers on the horizon, a reminder of the geological forces that will soon reshape the world. The glow of the lava reflects in the eyes of the huddling Scutosaurus, a warm orange light in the cool blue of the night. The earth is restless, breathing through the vents and fissures of the landscape. We feel the tremor of the deep crust, a low vibration that resonates in our very bones. In the aftermath of the Great Dying, the early Triassic world is inherited by the survivors. The Lystrosaurus huddles in its burrow, a small tusked creature that will one day be the ancestor of all that follows. It is a humble animal with a blunt snout and a sturdy frame built for enduring the harshest of times. It sleeps in the safety of the earth, its breath slow and steady as the world begins to heal. The Eriops, a massive amphibian of the early Permian, rests on a muddy bank, its wide, flat head resting on its paws. It is a creature of two worlds, equally at home in the water and on the land. Its skin is mottled and damp, catching the light like a wet stone as it waits for the sun to rise. It is a relic of an even older time, a giant that has seen the world change many times before. Beside it the Dimetrodon remains, still its magnificent sail catching the first faint light of the dawn. The sail is a delicate structure of bone and skin used to regulate its body temperature in the shifting climate. It is a creature of striking beauty, its long, elegant spine rising like a crest of fire against the morning mist. We sit in the quiet of the transition between the night and the day, watching the world wake in all its strange and wonderful glory. In the deep Permian forests, the Sumenia, a small climbing synapsid, moves through the branches with the agility of a primate. Its large eyes and grasping hands make it a master of the canopy, a pioneer of the high places. It looks down at us with a curious gaze, its long tail wrapped around a branch for balance. It is a glimpse into the future, a small spark of intelligence in the vast, ancient dark. The Mesosaurus, a small, aquatic reptile, glides through the coastal waters, its long, needle-like teeth snapping at tiny crustaceans. It is one of the first to return to the sea, a pioneer of the watery realm. Its body is sleek and streamlined, moving with a gentle, undulating motion that leaves a trail of silver in the dark water. The stars reflect in the surface of the bay a mirror for the beauty of the ancient night. In the Karoo Basin of South Africa, the Diictodon pairs rest in their spiral burrows, safe from the predators of the surface. They are small and social, living in communities that dot the arid landscape. Their tusks are used for digging and for defense, a simple yet effective tool for survival. We hear the soft chattering of their voices echoing from the depths of the earth, a sound of comfort and community. Above them, the Meganeuropsis, a dragonfly with a wingspan of nearly 70 centimeters, glides on the evening. Thermals, its wings are like sheets of stained glass shimmering in the twilight as it hunts for smaller insects. It is a giant of the air, a reminder of a time when the atmosphere was rich with oxygen and life could grow to incredible sizes. It vanishes into the deepening gloom, a ghost of the high Permian sky. The Gorgonops, a relative of the Inostrancevia, stands on a rocky ridge, silhouetted against the rising moon. It is a lean and powerful hunter, its eyes fixed on the distant horizon. It represents the peak of Permian evolution, a creature that is both alien and familiar to our modern eyes. It lets out a low, rasping call, a sound that carries across the silent plains of the ancient world. We sit in the velvet dark of the Permian night, surrounded by the echoes of these strange and beautiful creatures. The world is a vast and mysterious place, full of experiments that have long since vanished. We are the witnesses to their story, the keepers of their memory, as we drift deeper into the quiet of the past. The stars above continue their slow, eternal dance as we prepare to move even further back into the dawn of time. We leave the high Permian plains behind, descending through the layers of time into a world that is even stranger. The air grows heavy and humid thick with the weight of oxygen that fuels the giants of the undergrowth. We find ourselves in the heart of the Carboniferous coal forests. 300 million years ago, massive club moss, trees and giant horsetails reach toward the stars, their trunks coated in moss and ancient ferns. The ground is a carpet of damp needles and decaying wood, where the shadows move with a life of their own. Moving through the darkness is the Arthropleura, a millipede of nightmarish proportions reaching over 2.5 meters in length. its segmented body ripples with a rhythmic grace as hundreds of legs carry it, over fallen logs and through the dense thickets. It is a peaceful giant, feeding on the rotting vegetation of the forest floor, its presence a testament to the richness of this ancient atmosphere. We watch as it vanishes into the gloom, leaving only the soft rustle of the ferns in its wake. Nearby, beneath the arching fronds of a giant fern, the Pulmonoscorpius waits in the stillness. This is a scorpion the size of a small dog, its stinger held poised in the cool night air. Its many eyes reflect the faint bioluminescence of the fungi that grow upon the tree trunks, a silent sentinel of the carboniferous night. The world here is one of immense scale, where the insects and arachnids have claimed the throne of the land. We feel the vibration of its movement, a subtle tremor in the damp earth beneath our feet. In the stagnant waters of a swamp pool, the Diplocalus rests its unique, boomerang-shaped head, resting on the muddy bottom. This strange amphibian uses its wide skull as a hydrofoil, allowing it to move with sudden speed through the murky depths. Its skin is smooth and slick, patterned with dark blotches that blend perfectly with the shadows of the underwater world. We see only the glint of its eyes breaking the surface of the water as it breathes the heavy night air. It is a creature of two worlds, belonging to both the water and the land in this time of transition. High above the swamp, the Meganeura, the giant dragonfly of the Carboniferous, rests upon a branch of a lepidodendron. Its wings, spanning over 70 centimeters, are folded against its back, shimmering like iridescent silk in the moonlight. It is a master of the sky, a predator that rules the air with unrivaled agility and speed. The forest is filled with the distant hum of its kin, a sound that has echoed through these woods for millions of years. We stand in the presence of a monarch of the ancient sky, a creature that saw the first forests rise and fall. Deep within the Mazon Creek estuaries, we find the Tullymonstrum, the famous Tully monster, drifting through the silt-heavy waters. This creature is perhaps the strangest of all, with its long snout ending in a claw, and its eyes set on the ends of long stalks. It moves with a gentle, undulating motion, its soft body blending into the grey mist of the underwater world. It is a biological puzzle, a creature that defies easy classification, a lonely traveler from a forgotten branch of life's tree. We watch it fade into the darkness, a ghost of the ancient coastlines. As we move further back, the forests begin to thin, and the world opens into the vast coastal margins of the Devonian period. This is the age of fishes, 360 million years ago, when the oceans were filled with armored giants. The air is cooler here, and the scent of salt and minerals hangs heavy over the rocky shores. We hear the rhythmic crash of the waves against the ancient cliffs, a timeless song of the sea. The stars above are different, now arranged in patterns that have long since shifted across the heavens. In the shallow reefs, the Dunkleosteus patrols the shadows, its massive armored head, a fortress of bone. This apex predator lacks true teeth, instead possessing razor-sharp bony plates that can shear through the toughest armor. It is a titan of the Devonian seas, reaching lengths of nearly 10 meters, its body a masterpiece of ancient engineering. We see its silhouette pass beneath the surface, a dark shape that commands the respect of all who dwell in the deep. It is the king of this watery realm, a guardian of the ancient depths. Along the muddy banks of a slow-moving river, the Tiktaalik pulls itself onto the shore, its sturdy fins acting as primitive limbs. This is the pioneer, the one who first dared to leave the water and breathe the air of the world above. Its flat head and forward-facing eyes give it the appearance of a crocodile, but its heart still belongs to the river. We watch as it rests in the twilight, its gills pulsing slowly as it adjusts to the weight of gravity. It is a bridge between two existences, a symbol of the restless spirit of life. In the deeper waters, the Stethocanthus, a primitive shark, swims with a strange anvil-shaped fin atop its back. This fin, covered in small spikes, is a mystery of evolution, perhaps used for display or for anchoring itself in the currents. Its body is sleek and powerful, moving with the effortless grace of a hunter that has perfected its craft over millions of years. We see the flash of its pale belly as it turns in the water, a silver ghost in the indigo dark. The sea is full of such wonders, experiments in form and function, that have no modern equal. On the sandy bottom of the estuary, the Bothriollepes moves in small groups, its body encased in heavy box-like armor. These small fish use their pectoral fins to crawl across the substrate, searching for food in the nutrient-rich silt. They are the humble residents of the Devonian floor, protected by their bony shells from the predators that lurk above. We hear the soft scraping of their armor against the sand, a quiet industry that fills the underwater night. They are a reminder that even in a world of giants, there is a place for the small and the persistent. As the night deepens, the Helicoprion, a large predatory tetrapod, emerges from the reeds, its powerful tail trailing in the mud. It is one of the first true land dwellers, a creature that has traded the freedom of the sea for the challenges of the shore. Its skin is thick and moist, reflecting the moonlight as it scans the environment for movement. It moves with a slow, deliberate gait, its lungs filling with the cool night air of the late Devonian. We are witnesses to the dawn of a new era, where the land will become the stage for life's greatest adventures. In the deep ocean trenches, the trilobites still thrive, their complex eyes scanning the darkness for falling organic matter. These ancient arthropods have survived for millions of years, adapting to every corner of the global ocean. Their carapaces are intricate and varied, some adorned with long spines, others smooth and streamlined for burrowing. We watch a Phacops roll into a ball for protection, a simple yet effective defense that has served it well through the ages. The seafloor is a forest of crinoids and sponges, a vibrant and alien landscape that hums with the life of the deep. Above the seafloor, the Cladocelaceae, an early shark darts through the schools of smaller fish, its streamlined body built for speed. Unlike modern sharks, it lacks the familiar scales, its skin smooth and supple as it cuts through the water. It is a swift and efficient hunter, a precursor to the great predators that will one day rule the oceans. We see the glint of its teeth as it strikes a flash of action in the otherwise tranquil night. The Devonian seas are a place of constant movement, a restless cradle for the diversity of life. In the drying pools of the inland basins, the Ichthyostega waits for the rains to return, its robust rib cage protecting its lungs from the weight of its own body. It is a sturdy and resilient creature capable of surviving in environments that would claim less hardy souls. Its tail still bears a lingering memory of its aquatic past, even as its limbs grow stronger for the land. We sit with it in the quiet of the Devonian night, listening to the wind whistle through the ancient rocks. The world is changing, and the ichthyostega is ready to meet whatever the future holds. Under the surface of a freshwater lake, the Groenlandaspis rests its small armored body, tucked into a crevice of the rocky bottom. This placoderm is a survivor of a lineage that has dominated the Devonian its intricate armor, a testament to the dangers of this ancient world. We see the rhythmic movement of its gills, a heartbeat of the ancient waters as it waits for the dawn. The lake is still and clear, reflecting the stars in a perfect mirror of the heavens above. It is a moment of peace in a world that is often harsh and unforgiving. In the thick undergrowth of the coastal forests, the Ophidopeton, a snake-like amphibian, slithers through the leaf litter. It has lost its limbs in favor of a long, sinuous body that allows it to navigate the tight spaces of the forest floor. Its small head is equipped with sharp teeth for hunting, the insects that thrive in the damp shadows. It is an example of the incredible flexibility of life, the way it finds new paths and new forms to fill every niche. We watch as it disappears into a hollow log, a silent shadow in the carboniferous night. Near the edge of the water, the Crassigyrinus, a large aquatic amphibian, waits, with its mouth wide open, its tiny limbs useless for anything but balance. It is a specialized predator of the coal swamps, its long, powerful body designed for sudden bursts of speed in the murky water. Its skull is heavy and thick, capable of delivering a crushing bite to any prey that wanders too close. We see the moonlight catch the ridges of its head, a prehistoric monster lurking in the shadows of the ferns. It is a creature of the deep swamp, a guardian of the dark and forgotten waters. On the higher ground, the Edaphosaurus, a large, herbivorous pelycosaur, rests, its massive sail catching the last warmth of the evening sun. This sail, supported by long, bony spines, is a marvel of thermoregulation, allowing the creature to warm its body quickly in the morning light. Its small head and blunt teeth are suited for grinding the tough vegetation of the late Carboniferous world. We watch the slow rise and fall of its chest as it drifts into a deep and peaceful sleep. The sail glows with a soft orange light, a beacon of warmth in the cooling night air. As we prepare to leave these ancient forests and seas, we take one last look at the world of the Carboniferous and Devonian. It is a place of incredible strangeness, where life was still finding its way, experimenting with forms and functions that seem alien to us. Now we carry the memories of the giant millipedes, the armored fish, and the first pioneers of the land as we continue our journey. The path ahead leads even further back into the silent dawn of the Cambrian explosion, where the very foundations of life were first laid. The stars continue their eternal watch as we drift deeper into the heart of the ancient world. The water grows colder, and the light of the sun fades into a deep indigo blue. We have traveled back through the corridors of time to the dawn of the Cambrian explosion. Here, 508 million years ago, the ocean is a vast laboratory of biological wonder. It is a world where the very foundations of life are being forged in the silence of the deep. We drift, slowly, above the seafloor of the Burgess Shale, in what will one day be known as British Columbia. The ground is a soft carpet of microbial mats and fine silt undisturbed by the currents. In the dim light, we see the swaying forms of ancient sponges, their delicate structures filtering the water for nutrients. The air, if we could breathe, it would be thin and strange. But here, beneath the waves, life is flourishing in forms that seem almost alien, moving through the water. With a graceful, undulating motion is the Anomalocaris. It is the apex predator of this ancient world, measuring nearly 60 centimeters in length. Its large, compound eyes, mounted on stalks, search the gloom for prey, while two spiked appendages curl beneath its head. We watch as it glides like a shadow, its segmented body rippling in the faint bioluminescence of the deep. On the sandy bottom, a creature named Opabenia moves with a strange and jerky rhythm. It possesses 5 stalked eyes and a long, flexible nozzle that ends in a sharp claw. It is a creature that defies modern logic, a relic of an era when nature was testing the limits of the possible. We see its nozzle probing the silt, searching for small, soft-bodied organisms hidden beneath the surface. Nearby, the Hallucigenia stands on its 7 pairs of long, slender legs. Its back is protected by a row of sharp, defensive spines pointing toward the surface. For a long time, scientists struggled to understand which way was up or which end was the head. In this quiet moment, we see it walking slowly across the microbial mat, a tiny spiked sentinel of the Cambrian Sea. We pass a cluster of Wiwaxia, their bodies covered in overlapping scales and long upright spines. They look like small armored hills resting on the seafloor, their iridescent surfaces catching the faint light. These creatures are slow and deliberate, grazing on the organic material that settles from the water above. The ocean floor is a mosaic of these strange and beautiful forms, each playing its part in the ancient ecosystem. In the open water, the marella or lace crab flits through the current, its delicate branching head, shields trailing behind it. It is a small, elegant creature, its many legs moving in perfect unison to propel it forward. We watch as a swarm of them passes by like a cloud of silver dust in the dark water. They are the scavengers of the Cambrian, keeping the ocean floor clean and vibrant. We find a small ribbon-like fish called pikaia, swimming with a simple side-to-side motion. It is one of our earliest ancestors, a primitive chordate with a flexible rod running down its back. It is humble and small, yet it carries the blueprint for all the backboned creatures that will one day rule the earth. We follow it for a moment as it disappears into a forest of tall, slender sea pens. As we move further into the depths, the environment shifts to the Ordovician period, 460 million years ago. The ocean is deeper now, and the diversity of life has expanded into new and more complex forms. We see the giant Orthoceras, a cephalopod with a long, straight shell floating vertically in the water. Its tentacles hang downward, ready to seize any passing prey with a lightning-fast strike. Beside it, the massive Camaraceras reaches lengths of nearly 6 meters its shell, a formidable fortress. It is a slow and patient hunter drifting through the dark like a submarine of bone and flesh. We watch as it uses its powerful beak to crush the shells of trilobites feeding in the shadows of the reefs. The Ordovician Sea is a place of giants and ancient mysteries hidden in the deep, cold water. On the seafloor, a variety of trilobites crawl, through the mud, their complex eyes scanning the environment. Some have long defensive spines, while others are smooth and streamlined for burrowing. We see a large Isotellus molting its old exoskeleton, a vulnerable moment in the life of these armored pioneers. The discarded shell will soon become a home for smaller creatures in the cycle of life and decay. We encounter the Agerocasis, a giant filter-feeding Anomalocarid that rivals the size of a human. It swims with large flaps on the sides of its body, filtering plankton from the water with specialized appendages. It is a peaceful giant, a precursor to the great whales of our own time. We drift alongside it, feeling the gentle pressure of the water as it moves through the silent blue expanse. In the deeper trenches, the water is still, and the only light comes from the soft glow of bioluminescent bacteria. We see the Sacabambaspis, a primitive jawless fish with its eyes positioned at the very front of its head. It looks almost comical with its fixed, open mouth, yet it is a survivor, perfectly adapted to its environment. It moves in short bursts of speed, avoiding the larger predators that lurk in the darkness. We pass through a garden of sea lilies or crinoids, their colorful arms reaching upward like flowers of the sea. They are anchored to the rocks by long, flexible stalks swaying gently in the deep currents. These animals have existed for hundreds of millions of years, a testament to the enduring success of their design. The colors are vibrant even in the low light, shades of crimson, gold, and deep violet. The ocean floor is a place of constant change, yet it feels eternal in its quiet beauty. We watch as a group of early sea scorpions, or eurypterids, scuttle across the rocks, their pincers ready for action. They are the new masters of the shallows, preparing to transition into the brackish waters of the estuaries. Their segmented bodies are sleek and powerful, a sign of the evolving complexity of life. As the night deepens, the Cambrian and Ordovician worlds begin to fade into the mists of time. We have witnessed the birth of complexity, the experiments of nature, and the first steps of our own lineage. The creatures we have seen are the pioneers, the architects of the future, living their lives in the silent heart of the ancient sea. We carry their stories with us as we continue our descent into the deep history of the Earth. The water remains calm, and the stars above are hidden by the vast expanse of the ocean. We are travelers in a world that has long since vanished, yet its echoes still linger in the rocks and the genes of all living things. The silence is a comfort, a reminder of the vastness of time and the enduring spirit of life. We rest now in the cradle of the ancient deep as the currents carry us toward the next chapter. The path ahead leads us into the Silurian, where the first plants will begin to colonize the barren land. We see the distant glow of volcanic vents on the horizon, a sign of the restless earth beneath us. The world is changing, and we are there to witness its transformation, one slow breath at a time. The ancient sea is a place of dreams, and we are drifting deeper into its embrace. We see the rhythmic pulsing of a jellyfish, its translucent body catching the last of the light. It is a simple creature, yet it has survived through every mass extinction a silent witness to the passage of eons. We follow its slow ascent toward the surface, where the moon casts a silver path across the waves. It is a moment of perfect stillness in a world that is always in motion. As we prepare to leave the early Paleozoic, we take one last look at the strange and wonderful creatures of the deep. They are the ancestors of everything we know, the first sparks of life in a vast and empty universe. We carry their memory with us as we drift toward the dawn of a new era, where the land will finally wake from its long slumber. The journey continues through the silent halls of time as we move toward the greening of the world. The tide pulls back from the jagged Silurian coastline, revealing a world that is finally beginning to breathe in the open air. Small, spindly stalks of Cooksonia stand in the damp silt, their tiny bifurcated tips reaching for the heavy, humid sky. They are the first pioneers, the green heralds of a continent that has known only stone and wind for billions of years. Beneath these fragile plants, the ground is alive with the subtle clicking of millipedes and the first wingless insects navigating the shadows of the moss. The air here is thick with the scent of wet earth and the metallic tang of minerals leaching from the volcanic rocks. We see the towering shapes of prototaxites rising like monoliths from the flat landscape. These are not trees, but giant fungi reaching 20 feet into the air, their thick trunk-like structures covered in a velvet layer of lichen. In the low light of a Devonian evening, they look like the pillars of a forgotten temple, silent and immovable against the darkening horizon. We move toward the edge of a brackish lagoon where the water is still and dark. Here the Eurypterids, or sea scorpions, have grown to monstrous sizes, some reaching 8 feet in length. They glide through the shallows, their segmented tails trailing behind them, like the shadows of ancient ships. The light of the rising moon glints off their chitinous armor, reflecting the prehistoric stars in the rippling surface of the water. As the Silurian gives way to the Devonian, the world beneath the waves undergoes a transformation. This is the age of fish, a time when the oceans are filled with armored giants and strange experimental forms. We descend into the murky depths of the Ohio Sea, where the massive Dunkleosteus patrols the reefs. Its head is encased in thick bony plates, and its jaws are not teeth, but sharpened edges of bone capable of crushing the toughest shells. There is a quiet gravity to this predator, a slow and deliberate grace as it moves through the kelp forests. The water is cold and heavy, pressing against our skin as we watch this ancient monarch vanish into the blue gloom. Nearby, the strange Stethocanthus, a small shark with a bizarre anvil-shaped dorsal fin, hovers above the sandy floor. The fin is covered in tiny tooth-like scales, a strange ornament whose purpose remains a mystery of deep time on the sea floor. Of what will one day be Morocco, we find trilobites that have evolved into elaborate and surreal shapes. The Walliserops sports a long, three-pronged trident extending from its head, a delicate and beautiful structure in the dim light. These creatures scuttle through the silt, their many legs, creating a rhythmic scratching sound that echoes through the silent water. It is a world of intricate detail, where every spine and every segment tells a story of survival. We follow the curve of the coast to the muddy deltas of Ellesmere Island, where the water meets the land in a blur of reeds and silt. Here the Tiktaalik rests, its sturdy fins propping its head above the surface as it gulps the air. Its eyes are positioned on the top of its skull, watching the dragonflies that hover above the water with a quiet patience. This is the bridge between worlds, the moment when the pulse of the sea begins to sync with the rhythm of the land. In the marshes of Greenland, the ichthyostega drags its heavy body through the thick vegetation, its seven-toed feet leaving deep impressions in the mud. The sound of its breathing is slow and wet, a prehistoric sigh that fills the quiet night. The air is filled with the scent of decaying ferns and the sweet musk of the first flowering of the earth's green spirit. We are witnesses to the first steps of a journey that will lead to the forests and the plains of the future. As we move further inland, we enter the first true forests of the Gilboa region. The trees, known as Watieza, are strange and fern-like, their fronds reaching toward the stars like delicate lace. There are no birds yet, and no mammals only. The wind whispering through the branches and the occasional splash of a fish in a nearby stream. The silence is profound, a deep and ancient peace that settles over the land like a soft blanket. In the Gogo Formation of Australia, the coral reefs are alive with the movement of Macnamaraspis, a small armored fish with a delicate snout. The water is crystal clear, lit by the bioluminescence of ancient plankton that glows like 1,000 tiny stars. We watch as these fish dart through the crevices of the reef, their movements quick and precise, a dance of life in a world of stone. The colors are muted but rich, with shades of indigo and emerald and deep charcoal. In the riverbeds of South Africa, the Bothrialepis huddles in the shallows, its boxy body protected by heavy armor. It uses its long pectoral fins to pull itself along the bottom, searching for food in the nutrient-rich sediment. The water is warm and slow, carrying the scent of the mountains and the ancient dust of the interior. It is a humble existence, yet it is part of the vast and complex web of life that is spreading across the globe. We encounter the giant Hyneria in the deep channels of the Pennsylvania waterways, a predator that rivals the sharks of the sea. Its scales are thick and shimmering, reflecting the moonlight as it breaks the surface to take a breath. It is a powerful creature, a reminder that the rivers were once as wild and dangerous as the open ocean. We watch from the safety of the bank as it slips back into the shadows of the overhanging trees. On the marshy shores of Russia, the Tulipeton waits in the reeds, its multi-toed limbs perfectly adapted for the soft mud. It is a quiet observer of the changing world, its skin moist and glistening in the cool night air. The stars above are bright and clear, casting a silver light over the landscape and illuminating the path of the first explorers. Every breath is a triumph, every movement a testament to the resilience of life. In the shallow seas of China, the Unanolepis swims. In schools, their small armored bodies clicking together as they move. They are among the earliest of the jawed vertebrates, a crucial link in the chain of evolution. The water is vibrant with the energy of a world in transition, a place where new forms are being forged in the crucible of time. We drift with the current, feeling the pulse of the earth beneath us. We reach the great forests of Archaeopteris in Belgium, where the first true wood has begun to grow. These trees are massive, their trunks sturdy and tall, their canopies creating a deep and permanent shadow on the forest floor. The ground is covered in a thick carpet of fallen leaves and decaying wood, providing a home for a myriad of small creatures. The air is cool and fresh, filled with the oxygen of a billion leaves breathing in unison. On a lonely beach in Poland we find the tracks of early tetrapods preserved in the ancient sand. They are simple impressions, yet they represent one of the most significant moments in the history of our planet. The waves wash gently over the tracks, but they remain etched in the stone, a permanent record of the first steps onto the land. We stand in the silence of the night, feeling the weight of the eons that have passed since these tracks were made. In the open ocean, the Cladocelas hunts with a speed and agility that prefigures the modern shark. Its body is sleek and streamlined, its eyes large and sensitive to the faint light of the deep. It moves without sound, a ghost in the water, a master of the vast and empty spaces. The ocean is a place of mystery and wonder, a realm that has seen the rise and fall of countless dynasties. We see the massive Gorgonichthys in the waters of Canada, its armored head as large as a boulder, its presence commanding and stern. It is one of the last of the great arthrodires, a relic of an era that is slowly coming to an end. The water is dark and cold, reflecting the transition of the world as it moves toward a new chapter. The great armored fish will soon vanish, leaving the seas to the sharks and the bony fish that will follow. As the Devonian closes, the world is a lush and green paradise, a place where life has finally conquered the land. The forests are tall, the rivers are full, and the air is rich. With the promise of the future, we rest in the shade of a giant fern, listening to the sounds of the night and the slow, steady heartbeat of the earth. The journey has been long, but we are only just beginning to see the true potential of this vibrant world. We look toward the horizon, where the first signs of the Carboniferous are beginning to appear. The swamps are widening and the insects are growing larger as the oxygen levels continue to rise. It is a world of giants and wonders, a place where the strange and the beautiful coexist in a delicate balance. We follow the light of the setting sun as it paints the sky in shades of gold and crimson, leading us toward the next great adventure. The mists of the Devonian begin to thin, revealing the towering club mosses of the coming age. The air is thick with the scent of wet moss and the heavy sweetness of decay. We move through the towering club mosses of the Carboniferous, where the trees reach 100 feet into the humid sky. The atmosphere is rich with oxygen, nearly 35% of the air. We breathe, fueling the growth of giants. In the dim light of the swamp, a Meganeura glides silently through the ferns. Its wings span over 2 feet wide, catching the faint moonlight like shimmering glass. It is a master of the air, a predator of the canopy in a world where the insects rule the skies. Beneath the giant ferns, the ground is alive with the rustle of ancient life. An arthropleura, a millipede the size of a man, wins its way through the decaying logs. Its many legs move in a rhythmic wave, a soft clicking sound against the damp earth. It is a gentle giant, a scavenger of the forest floor feeding on the fallen leaves of the sigillaria. The weight of its body leaves deep tracks in the mud, a record of its passage through the primeval dark. We watch as it disappears into the shadows, a creature of a time when the earth was a garden of giants. Near the edge of a stagnant pool, a Pulmonoscorpius waits in the reeds. It is 2 feet long, its stinger held ready in the cool night air. The water is still reflecting the dark shapes of the trees and the distant glow of a volcanic vent. A small amphibian stirs in the mud, unaware of the predator, lurking just inches away. The silence is profound, broken only by the occasional splash of a fish or the distant hum of a giant insect. This is the heart of the Carboniferous, a world of immense scale and quiet mystery. In the deep, murky waters of the swamp, the Crassigyrinus lurks like a ghost. Its body is long and eel-like, its limbs tiny and useless for walking on the land. It is a creature of the water, a predator that has returned to the depths of its ancestors. Its eyes are large and sensitive, adapted for the low light of the swamp floor. It moves with a slow, sinuous grace, a shadow among the roots of the giant club mosses. The water is warm and thick, with the sediment of a world in constant flux. High in the canopy of a tree fern, a Hylonomus rests on a broad leaf. It is one of the first true reptiles, a tiny pioneer in a world of giants. Its skin is scaly and dry, a shield against the humidity of the swamp. It represents a new beginning, a lineage that will one day dominate the planet. The little creature is still its heart beating slowly in the rhythm of the night. It is a small part of a vast and complex ecosystem, a witness to the slow turning of the wheel of time. As the Carboniferous fades and the Permian begins, the world becomes drier and more seasonal. In the red beds of Texas, a Dimetrodon basks in the last rays of the setting sun. Its great sail is a canvas of blood vessels absorbing the heat of the day to keep its body warm. It is a synapsid, a relative of the mammals that will one day inherit the earth. The landscape is vast and open, a mosaic of floodplains and shallow rivers. The air is cooler now, and the scent of pine begins to replace the smell of the swamp. Beside the Dimetrodon, an Edaphosaurus grazes on the tough vegetation. Its sail is different, adorned with crossbars and thick bony knobs. It is a peaceful herbivore, a contrast to the predatory nature of its cousin. The two creatures share the same landscape, yet they exist in different worlds. The sun sinks below, the horizon casting long shadows across the red earth. The world is quiet, a place of stillness and peace as the night begins to fall. In the shallow waters of a Permian river, a Diplocaulus rests on the sandy bottom. Its head is shaped like a boomerang, a strange and unique adaptation for life in the current. It acts as a hydrofoil, helping the creature to lift its head or dive with ease. Its body is flat and wide, its skin smooth and moist. It is a creature of the shadows, a hidden dweller in the ancient waters. The river flows gently over its body, a constant, soothing presence in the dark. Far out at sea, the Helicoprion swims through the deep blue waters. Its lower jaw is a spiral of sharp serrated teeth, a biological wonder that has puzzled scientists for generations. It moves with the grace of a shark, its body sleek and powerful. The ocean is vast and empty, a realm of infinite blue and eternal silence. The spiral of teeth is a testament to the creativity of nature, a strange and beautiful solution to the problem of survival. The water is cold and dark, a cradle for the mysteries of the deep. On the plains of South Africa, an Ankylosaurus prowls through the scrubland. It is a massive predator, its skull thick and heavy, its teeth designed for crushing bone. It is a dinocephalian, a member of a group of synapsids that ruled the middle Permian. The ground trembles beneath its weight as it moves through the dry grass. The air is dusty and warm, filled with the scent of baked earth and ancient stone. It is a world of power and dominance, where the strong survive and the weak vanish into the mists of time. Nearby, a herd of muskox grazes on the low bushes. Their bodies are heavy and barrel-shaped, their heads thick and reinforced for head-butting contests. They are social creatures moving together for protection and companionship. The sound of their low grunts fills the air, a peaceful counterpoint to the predatory silence of the Ankylosaurus. The sun is high in the sky, a brilliant white orb that bakes the land in its relentless heat. The world is a place of harsh beauty and enduring strength. In the shadows of a rock outcrop, a Eucambersia waits for its prey. It is a small theracephalian possessing deep pits in its skull that once held venom glands. It is one of the first venomous vertebrates, a pioneer in the art of chemical warfare. Its eyes are sharp and calculating, its body coiled and ready to strike. The silence of the desert is absolute, a stillness that is both beautiful and terrifying. We watch as the little predator remains perfectly still, a master of patience and stealth. In the forests of Russia, the Anomalocaris stands like a guardian of the woods. Its head is adorned with bony horns and ridges, giving it the appearance of a crowned beast. It is a massive animal, its skin likely thick and glandular, like that of a hippopotamus. It moves through the dense undergrowth with a slow and deliberate pace. The forest is a place of deep green and cool shadows, a sanctuary from the heat of the open plains. The scent of pine and damp earth is heavy in the air, a fragrance of the ancient world. Across the clearing, an Inostrancevia watches the Anomalocaris from the safety of the trees. It is a gorgonopsid, a saber-toothed predator of the late Permian. Its fangs are long and sharp, designed for piercing the thick hide of its prey. It is the apex predator of its time, a creature of speed and lethal precision. The tension between the two giants is palpable, a silent drama played out in the heart of the forest. The world is a place of constant struggle and eternal balance. On the edge of the forest, a Scutosaurus wanders onto the open steppe. Its body is covered in bony plates, a suit of armor against the predators of the Permian. It is a slow and ponderous creature, its legs positioned directly beneath its body to support its massive weight. It is a parareptile, a distant relative of the turtles that will follow. The landscape is vast and empty, a horizon that stretches on forever. The sky is a deep indigo blue fading into the blackness of the coming night. In the dry riverbeds, a Dicynodon digs for roots and tubers. Its beak is sharp and strong, its tusks used for defense and digging. It is a successful and widespread creature, a testament to the resilience of the synapsid lineage. The sound of its digging is a steady, rhythmic thud against the hard earth. The air is cool and still as the stars begin to appear in the darkening sky. The world is settling into a deep and peaceful sleep, a rest that has been earned through the long hours of the day. One creature, however, remains active through the transition. The Lystrosaurus, a hardy and adaptable herbivore, thrives in the changing world. It is a survivor, a creature that will endure the coming catastrophe and inherit the new world of the Triassic. Its body is sturdy, its tusks efficient for rooting out food in the harshest of environments. It moves with a sense of purpose, a quiet confidence in its ability to endure. The world is changing, but the Lystrosaurus is ready for whatever the future may hold. In the ancient oceans, the conularia drift like delicate glass lanterns. Their four-sided shells are etched with intricate patterns, a beauty that is both simple and profound. They are creatures of the deep, a lineage that has survived for hundreds of millions of years. They move with the currents, a slow and graceful dance in the eternal dark. The ocean is a place of continuity, a realm that remains largely untouched by the changes on the land. The water is a cradle of life, a sanctuary for the strange and the beautiful. As the Permian draws to a close, the forests of Glossopteris cover the southern continents. Their tongue-shaped leaves form a thick carpet on the forest floor, a legacy of the ancient flora. The trees are tall and stately, their wood strong and enduring. The wind whispers through the leaves, a soft and mournful sound, like a lament for a world that is about to change. The air is heavy with the scent of pollen and the promise of new life. We stand in the silence of the forest, feeling the weight of the eons that have passed. The world is on the brink of the greatest extinction in the history of life. The volcanoes are waking and the oceans are warming, a change that will reshape the planet forever. But for now, the world is at peace, a place of beauty and wonder, a testament to the enduring power of life. We watch as the last light of the Permian fades into the darkness of the coming age. The journey is nearly over, but the story of the Earth is only just beginning to unfold. We look toward the horizon where the first signs of the Mesozoic are beginning to appear. As the light of the Permian finally dissolves into the deep shadows of history, we find ourselves standing upon the threshold of a new and strange world. The Triassic dawn is not a gentle one. The land is scorched by a sun that feels closer, more relentless than before. In the arid basins of what will one day be Central Asia, the air shimmers with heat and the scent of dry dust. Here among the low shrubs and the hardy ferns we see a shape that defies the expectations of the mind. It is Longisquama, a small creature no larger than a lizard, yet it carries upon its back a row of long, narrow structures like the frozen plumes of a fountain. These scales, or perhaps feathers, rise high into the air, catching the faint breeze of the evening. They are delicate and strange, a biological mystery etched in the stone of time. Not far from the shade of the Longisquama, another shadow flits through the twilight. This is Charovipteryx, a creature that has chosen a different path to the sky. Its wings are not on its arms, but stretched between its long, powerful hind legs. It glides like a living delta wing, a silent ghost moving from tree to tree. The forest here is sparse, a collection of ancient conifers and ginkgos that have survived the great dying. The sound of the wind through the needle-like leaves is a low, mournful hum, a song of survival in a world that is slowly rebuilding itself. We watch as the Chaerovipteryx lands with a soft scratch of claws against bark, its large eyes reflecting the first stars of the Triassic night. Time flows like a deep and silent river, carrying us into the lush heart of the Jurassic. The world has become a garden of giants, but in the undergrowth of the Tiaogetian, the strange and the small still flourish. We see a flash of iridescent color in the moonlight. It is Epidexipteryx, a tiny dinosaur adorned with 4 long ribbon-like feathers trailing from its tail. It moves with a nervous grace, its large teeth designed for plucking insects from the crevices of the trees. The air is thick with the smell of damp earth and the sweet musk of rotting vegetation. The forest is alive with the sounds of unseen life, a symphony of chirps and rustles that fills the cool night air. Beside the Epidexipteryx, another enigma of the Jurassic clings to a mossy branch. This is Yi Chi, the creature with the wings of a bat and the body of a bird. Its long bony rod extending from its wrist supports a membrane of skin, a strange and wonderful experiment in flight that would eventually vanish from the earth. The light of the moon filters through the canopy, casting long dancing shadows on the forest floor. We feel the stillness of the woods, the sense that we are witnesses to a secret world, a place where the rules of life are still being written. The Yi Chi folds its wings and vanishes into the darkness, a shadow among shadows. As we move further into the Cretaceous, the landscapes become more familiar, yet more bizarre. In the vast river deltas of what is now Africa, the Nigersaurus grazes on the soft ferns that line the water's edge. Its mouth is a wide, straight line filled with hundreds of tiny teeth, like a living vacuum cleaner. It keeps its head low to the ground, its long neck a bridge between the lush vegetation and its massive body. The sound of the river is a constant soothing murmur, a background to the rhythmic clipping of the Nigersaurus as it feeds. The air is warm and humid, heavy with the scent of mud and the distant perfume of the first flowering plants. In the high plateaus of Mongolia, the night is cold and the wind carries the scent of pine and sage. Here we encounter the Deinocheirus, the terrible hand. For decades only, its massive 8-foot arms were known, a mystery that haunted the dreams of explorers. Now we see the full creature, a humpbacked giant with a duck-like bill and a tail tipped with a fan of feathers. It moves with a slow, deliberate gait, its massive claws used for digging in the soft soil of the lake margins. The stars above are bright and cold, a glittering canopy that spans the entire horizon. The Deinocheirus lets out a low, booming call, a sound that vibrates in the chest and echoes off the distant hills. Nearby, in the same ancient valley, the Therizinosaurus wanders through the brush. It is a creature of contradictions, a giant herbivore with claws like scythes over 3 feet long. It uses these formidable tools to pull down the high branches of the trees, its small head reaching for the tenderest leaves. The sound of breaking wood is sharp in the silence of the night, a reminder of the immense power that resides in this gentle giant. The moonlight glints off the polished surface of its claws, making them look like silver blades in the darkness. We stand in awe of this strange evolution, a testament to the infinite variety of life's forms. The oceans, too, hold their own secrets in the late Cretaceous. In the deep, cold waters off the coast of what will be Japan, the Nipponites floats in the dark. It is an ammonite, but its shell is not a simple coil. Instead, it is a complex knot of branching tubes, a three-dimensional puzzle of calcium carbonate. It moves with the currents, its many tentacles searching for small prey in the nutrient-rich water. The ocean is a place of absolute peace, a realm where the passage of time is marked only by the slow drift of the tides. The bioluminescence of tiny plankton sparkles like underwater stars, illuminating the strange beauty of the Nipponites as it dances in the deep. We transition now into the Cenozoic, the age of mammals, where the strangeness continues in new and unexpected ways. In the lush forests of Eocene Europe, the Propylaeotherium, a tiny horse, the size of a cat, darts through the leaf litter. It has 4 toes on its front feet and 3 on its back, a far cry from the single-hooved giants of the future. The air is filled with the scent of ripening fruit and the hum of ancient bees. The Propylaeotherium stops to listen, its large ears twitching at every sound. The world is young and full of potential, a place where the small can dream of becoming great. In the dry grasslands of South America, during the Miocene, the Macrauchenia grazes on the tough grasses. It looks like a camel, with the long neck of a giraffe and the short trunk of a tapir. It is a biological mosaic, a creature that belongs to a lineage that has no living relatives. The wind whistles across the open plains, carrying the scent of dust and the promise of rain. The Macrauchenia moves with a swaying motion, its trunk sensitive and agile as it plucks at the vegetation. The sun is setting, casting a long golden light over the landscape, a final glow before the arrival of the night. In the forests of Europe at the same time, the Chalicotherium rests beneath a giant oak. It is a relative of the horse and the rhinoceros, but it walks on its knuckles, its long front arms tipped with massive claws. It looks like a cross between a gorilla and a horse, a creature that seems to have stepped out of a myth. The forest is quiet, the only sound the rustle of leaves in the breeze. The Chalicotherium is a peaceful giant, a creature that has found its own unique way to survive in a changing world. We watch as it closes its eyes, its breathing slow and steady in the cool evening air. As we reach the Pliocene in Africa, the Dinotherium moves through the savanna. It is a giant elephant-like creature, but its tusks grow downwards from its lower jaw like 2 massive hooks. It uses them to strip bark from the trees, a powerful and efficient tool for a life in the wild. The savanna is a place of endless horizons and dramatic skies. The light of the setting sun turns the clouds into shades of orange and purple, a spectacular display of nature's beauty. The Dinotherium stands like a silent sentinel, a mountain of flesh and bone in the fading light. In the frozen wastes of Pleistocene Siberia, the Elasmotherium, the giant unicorn of the north, wanders through the snow. It is a massive rhinoceros with a single enormous horn growing from its forehead, a weapon and a tool of incredible power. The air is bitingly cold and the wind howls across the tundra, carrying the scent of ice and ancient earth. The Elasmotherium's thick, shaggy coat protects it from the elements, a testament to the resilience of life in the harshest of environments. The stars above are brilliant and sharp, a cold fire that lights the way through the long Arctic night. In the ancient forests of Australia, the thylacoleo, the marsupial lion, waits in the shadows. It is a predator unlike any other, with powerful front limbs and teeth that act like shearing blades. It is a master of ambush, a silent hunter in the moonlit woods. The forest is filled with the scent of eucalyptus and the dry smell of the outback. The thylacoleo moves with a fluid grace, its eyes glowing in the dark as it searches for its next meal. The world of the Pleistocene is a place of danger and beauty, a world that is slowly coming to an end. On the remote island of Wrangel, in the dying days of the Ice Age, the last of the mammoths huddle against the cold. They are smaller than their ancestors, a remnant of a once great lineage that is now fading into memory. The world is changing and the ice is retreating, leaving them stranded on this lonely outpost. The wind whispers through their shaggy coats, a soft and mournful sound, like a lament for a lost world. We watch as the last light of the Pleistocene fades into the darkness of the coming age. The journey through the strangest creatures of Earth's history is nearly at its end. We find ourselves back in the modern world, but the echoes of the past are all around us. The shapes of the trees, the calls of the birds, the very earth beneath our feet all carry the legacy of the billions of years that have come before. The strangeness of the past is not gone. It is simply hidden in the layers of stone and the sequences of our own genetic code. We are the inheritors of a vast and wonderful history, a story that is still being written with every breath we take. The night is deep and the stars are silent, a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the transience of life. In the deep silence of a museum hall, the skeletons of the ancient giants stand as silent witnesses to the passage of time. Their bones are cold and hard, but they once held the warmth of life, the pulse of a heart, the spark of a mind. We can almost hear the echo of their footsteps, the rustle of their feathers, the splash of their fins in the ancient seas. The world of the past is not a different place. It is our world seen through the lens of deep time. It is a place of wonder and mystery, a place that invites us to dream and to remember. As you settle into your own sleep, let the images of these strange and beautiful creatures fill your mind. See the Longisquama, with its fountain of scales, the Yi-Chi, with its bat-like wings, the Deinocheirus, with its massive arms. Feel the cool air of the Triassic night, the damp warmth of the Jurassic forest, the biting cold of the Pleistocene tundra. Let the rhythm of their lives, the slow and steady pulse of the earth, guide you into a deep and peaceful slumber. The world is at rest, and the story of life is safe in the hands of time. There is a profound peace in the realization that we are part of something so much larger than ourselves. The cycle of life and death, of creation and extinction, is a beautiful and necessary part of the Earth's journey. We are but a brief flicker in the long night of time. But we are here, and we are a part of the wonder. The darkness is not something to be feared. It is a sanctuary, a place of rest and renewal. Let the shadows fold around you like a warm blanket, and let the silence be your lullaby. The stars will continue to shine. The earth will continue to turn, and the story of life will continue to unfold in ways we cannot even imagine. For now the journey is over, and the world is still. Sleep now and dream of the vanished habitats, the strange creatures, and the infinite beauty of our planet's past. The deep time is calling, and it is time to rest in the arms of history. The silence is complete, the peace is absolute, as the world drifts into the long and quiet night. Thank you for wandering through deep time with me tonight. Until next time on Forgotten Habitats, sleep well.